Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of the Front Porch Knitter. My name is Lucy Ann, and I'm coming to you from my back porch because there's a little bit of less breeze back here. And my home is in southwestern Ontario, Canada. Sort of, you know, some people go southwestern Ontario is a big area. So I'm between Ingersoll and Tillsonburg and London and Kitchener. That gives you an idea of where I'm at if you are familiar with those places. I'm hoping this is going to be a little quicker episode, although I have a lot of finished objects here. I have an appointment and I have to leave. So if you hear my alarm go off, that's why. Reminding me that I'm running out of time. So, been pretty quiet around here. We're very busy getting ready. As if you watched in the past, you know, we have a wedding coming up. Our oldest son is getting married in a couple of weeks, so there's lots going on. Summer has just seemed to fly by, and I can't believe it's probably been almost 7 or 8 weeks since I last recorded, so I apologize. I had every intention of doing it sooner, but just didn't happen. So I think we're going to jump right in so that and leave the chatter to the end when I know how much time I have left, because that's how life goes. Good. So let's start with some finished objects. I have a stack of socks here, some of which you've seen before and some of which hadn't even been started the last time, so let's just go with that. These are fun. Oh, I didn't bring my blockers down. I'm sorry. These are a pair of Rose City rollers. It's a great pattern, especially if you want to do shorty socks. Done in Regia cotton, and I think this one is, I think it was called Summer Cocktail. I'll make sure I put it down below in the description so you know exactly what yarn it is. But I really like these little summer shorties, and so does my daughter. So typically from one ball I easily get 2 pairs shorties, but I probably have enough left to do something else. Like I probably have enough bits from the various cotton socks I've done to make sort of a Frankenstein pair. So you may see those in the future, because I don't put this cotton fingering into my blanket, my Cozy Memories blanket. I use just wool scraps for that. So those are fun. Those finished. These I just love. This is a skein of Flotte Sock, which I think is a German yarn, and I don't know if you can see, they sparkle. It's their Christmas sock, and this is some Christmas knitting I started already. I'm hoping to have 1 pair of Christmas socks done for each of the kids and their partners. So this pattern is just a stitch pattern, as I heard someone else say. Oh, it was Nancy Wheeler from Knit Sit Happy. When you do vanilla socks, but you just make them interesting enough so you don't drive yourself stark raving mad. So it's just a traveling rib pattern. You can't really see it in these. I have another pair of my works in progress where you can see the pattern better. But I just love these. This is a great, and I have this same yarn without the sparkle. So you'll be seeing more of that. And I have enough of this left, I'm sure, to, if not do shorties, at least do maybe toes or something on another pair of socks. So those are fun. And, oh, probably a couple of episodes ago, you saw a pair of striped Paton's Kroy zebra stripe, just regular vanilla socks, and I had some bits of it left over, as you can see, and so I had some red. This is Paton's Kroy as well, and I think the black, though I have black Paton's Kroy, but I'm pretty sure this is Timber Yarns because I buy the Timber Yarns minis in the licorice color, because I really like that color for toes and cuffs, heels, toes and cuffs, and I think that's what this is, because you can see it's not as solid a color as the red, and the commercial yarns tend to be a more flat color, whereas when you get a hand-dyed, it tends to have a little more depth to it, which is kind of nice. So I just made these up, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go to my daughter, because I think they're a little small for me, but they're just fun. I did them toe up. I haven't done a pair of toe up socks in a long time, so I wanted to do that, and that also helps me gauge how much of this I have left. And I split what I had left of this and made sure I weighed it. And when I was done, I had like, I don't know if I had 2 feet of yarn left. And they match, well, they match pretty darn close. So, yeah, and I just added these little pops of color in. I don't know why, because I felt like doing it that day. You know, it's that vanilla sock, so you don't go start craving that. These, because the Paton's Kroy is a little heavier, these knit up so quickly. And I have to say, another thing Nancy Wheeler said, using these commercial yarns for gift socks probably is a wise idea. Just because, like, I can look at a sock and I know exactly what I need to do to it because I knit it and I bought the yarn and I'm completely familiar with it. So if I do those for my husband or myself, that's easy. But when I gift a pair of socks, I don't want them to be anyone to feel like they're so precious they can't wear them. I want them to just wear them because they are amazing. Like my poor dad, who the next pair of socks are for, I don't know, he's only got about 3 pair that I've knit him, because he used to always wear really heavy work socks. Like if you watched the episodes in the past, you've seen some of those heavy work socks that I was fixing for my uncle, and that's what my dad used to wear every day. Well, now that he's older and he tends not to wear work boots and rubber boots as much, but he wears a pair of like running shoes. He still wants a wool sock, but he doesn't want such a heavy wool sock. So I've been knitting him some, and I realized when I was there in the spring, I need to knit him more because apparently he wears them year round. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised. My grandfather, my mom's dad, he switched from wool long underwear to cotton long underwear in the summer, but he wore long underwear year round. And he switched from wool pants. There used to be these, and I wish I'd kept them when, I might have mentioned this before, when we were cleaning out my mom's house, there was this brand new pair that nobody had ever worn, and they were called Humphrey pants. And they were this black, scratchy wool. I wish I had kept them to do something with the fabric, because I'm sure they're still hanging at the place where we donated them, because I don't know who would wear them today. Nobody works in a job where they would choose to wear wool pants like that. But they're gorgeous wool. That's what my grandfather wore all winter. I also finished these for my dad. You know, knitting men's socks takes a long time. And my dad has the smallest feet of all the men I knit socks for, but they're still pretty good size feet. This is Prolana, I think was what the yarn was called. I don't have the label with me. I'm sorry. This is me winging it today. But I do like the way they knit up, and they do feel really nice. It's a bit more rustic than a regular superwash, more like the Kroy, but a little bit finer. And I don't know, when you do these self-patterning socks, so much depends on the exact right gauge and to get the pattern to work out perfectly. This one's not bad. And I'm not someone who worries that much about the perfect gauge for socks. I just need it to be close. And so I was quite happy with the way these ones turned out. And this is the perfect color for my dad. He's colorblind, but he has a lot of opinions about fashion, which is the big hilarious thing in my mother's life. He'll tell her she shouldn't wear something, and I'm like, why do you care? But anyway, who's to know? This isn't socks, but it's sock-ish, and it isn't really finished. It's finished to this point. And I wanted to show them to you before I felted them. So these are, and I use Google Translate, and it sort of works. You have to be a pretty confident knitter to Google Translate a pattern from whatever it was in, Norwegian or Swedish or whatever. And wherever Sandnes Garn is from, that's what language it was in. Let's see if it tells me on here. Norway, so Norwegian. To translate it to English and then sort of guess. You sort of have to know what you're doing already, because some of the translation is really weird. Anyway, these are knit in Fritidsgarn by Sandnes Garn, and this is 100% Norwegian wool. It's quite rustic. I would say it's bulky weight. It's heavier than, maybe Aran. It's heavier than worsted for sure. And I knit the, I think they're called double toffler slippers. So what you knit looks like this. It looks like a pair of children's pants. And they're huge. And then you fold them into each other. See if I can get it to work here while we're talking. And you felt them flat, but once they're done, this is how you get a slipper. It's not perfect, but this gives you the idea. Need some smoothing out on the inside. So you get a slipper that's kind of like this. So your foot goes in here. These should fit me when I'm done. So they should be about, my feet are around a size 9. That's the European 41. That's what the specs were I knit it to. So I know this does not look like it's ever going to fit me, but I wanted you to see how big they were. So when I do felt them, and they do fit me, you'll sort of know what happened. I am doing them in the recommended yarn right now. It's not easy to find, although I have got some more to knit another pair. I'm going to felt these ones first, though, before I knit the next pair, to really get a good feel for how much they're going to... And I might embroider on them, too, because I really love this deep, rich wine color, and I just think once they're felted, embroidering on them would make them really pretty. So I knit those as well. I'm pretty excited to try them. I don't know if you watch Knitting Traditions, which is Inga, and I can't remember her, I know her last name, but I can't remember it. She made these last year as Christmas gifts for everyone, and they knit up so fast because it's such heavy yarn, and you use a decent sized needle, like I think it's a 5 or something, or 6. So I'm pretty excited to felt those to see what's going to happen. What else do I have exciting in this? So 3 sweaters. Like, that's what happens when you haven't talked for a while. 3 sweaters finished. So this one I don't even think was started, and I was going to wear it today, but I had to do some house cleaning, and I didn't want it to get, I'm a little glistening. So this is the Tolsta by Rebecca Clow, the Kroy, if you watch her on Instagram. No, on YouTube. She's the Kroy on Instagram as well. And this is, this pattern, the Tolsta, is basically a DK weight raglan t-shirt recipe. So it gives you the basic increases for the raglans, and I think you've already seen my gray and red striped one. That one is also a Tolsta that I made from the leftover yarn from my Autumn League. So the Lion Brand cotton jeans left over from my Autumn League pullover, and the red Sheepy's Granada cotton that I got at Value Village, which is a, like a, I don't know, charity shop, I guess, used clothing and things shop. So yeah, and I wear it quite a bit. It's actually in the wash right now. And then I did another one that I sort of did on my own before this pattern was released in Kobu, which is a bamboo cotton blend from Lion Brand. And it's also in the wash. Like, I wear them a lot. They're really comfortable to wear. And unlike, so these ones are all done in plant-based fibers, unlike, because I do have some wool t-shirts, which I do wear, but in the heat of the summer, they're just too much. This one I haven't worn yet, but I'm looking forward to it. This one is hemp and cotton blend. So right now it doesn't feel really soft, but everything I've read says as I wear it, it should soften up, and it should wear really, really well. And this is just an eyelet pattern. It's one of the modifications, because there's probably a dozen modification options that come with the pattern. It comes in DK and fingering weight. The pattern does, so you can try all kinds of things. So I'm looking forward to wearing this, and it's surprising. I thought it would be heavy, but I think it's a bit lighter than the cotton ones are. The yarn is Paton's Hempster, which everything I've read about, all the patterns I've seen, everyone has always just made like a market bag or something like that with it. But it was really inexpensive. I picked it up. It's probably discontinued, because I actually have another sweater quantities of it in a rusty red, like a cinnamony color. But I think I paid like $5 for 3 balls or something crazy like that. So I'm interested to see how it behaves. I have already washed it. It did not grow. I thought it would grow more. It did not grow as much as 100% cotton bamboo or cotton linen do, which leads me to believe that hemp probably has a little less give in it. Or, well, though none of those other yarns really are stretchy either. I guess it maybe is already at its length. I don't know. I don't know why, but sometimes I just want to know how a fiber reacts. And I sort of know what to expect from cotton and linen and those kinds of fibers, but I wasn't sure what to expect from this. So I'm pretty excited about it. You'll probably see it. Hopefully, if I can get around to podcasting sooner than later, you'll probably see it in the future, because I think it's going to be a well-worn, especially because it's just a black t-shirt. And, you know, I can wear it with so many things. Like the white pants I'm wearing today, which is a crazy thing to be doing. But like I said, I have an appointment later, and I don't know. I don't like to wear shorts to town. I wear shorts all the time, but I tend to wear like capris or a skirt, or if I'm going into town. I don't really know why. Not if I'm just running to the grocery store quick or something like that, but if I'm going to an appointment or anything, then I do. Yeah. This is another Rebecca Clow pattern, and this is the Corin cardigan, and I found the buttons I just love, the little Celtic knot. I don't have the right shirt on to try this on, but I love this. And this is done in the Cascade Hampton cotton, which apparently when I was buying, I bought it on sale at Cricket Cove in Fredericton, New Brunswick, a year and a half ago. And the intention was, and I did, to make the cedar top by Joji Locatelli. And I don't know, I must have read the pattern wrong. I have no idea what I did, but I had lots to make the cedar. I made this, and I still probably have 50 or 75 grams left. So obviously I overbought, but I do love the color. They're different enough sweaters that it's not going to matter. I have to take pictures of, I haven't taken pictures of any of these things. I've been happily knitting away, but I haven't taken any pictures. I see this over, like I have a black tank, really flowy, probably the fabric is a modal or a bamboo, something, a knit, but flowy. And I see this over top of it. And I'm really excited. I don't know where I'm going to wear it, but I'm really excited to have it done. I thought I was going to wear it to a wedding a few weeks ago, and I purchased the dress. And you know how you buy a dress for a function and then you hang it in the closet and in your head you know what color it is? I was wrong. Like, really wrong. Like, I really thought it was a really pale blue, and it's probably a soft lavender. This just didn't really look right over it. Like, it was just the wrong color. But I'm pretty excited for this, and I think because I glisten a little still sometimes, I might do one of these in wool as well, because I think it'll be just enough for me over a tank top or a long sleeve dress in the winter to allow me to not be too warm. I love sweaters. I was a turtleneck and pullover girl my entire life. And let me tell you, menopause sucks when someone has a lot of really nice sweaters in their collection and cannot wear them. So then the last sweater I did, and I don't even know, I think I might have shown the wool in my last episode. My friend Robin Oakes of Close Knit Friends Yarn Shop in New Brunswick, she was doing a Love Note knit along in June, and I had this mohair in my collection. It is my favorite Sugarbush Drizzle, which has been discontinued. I'm sorry, can't remember the colorway, but it doesn't really matter because you can't get it anyway. Although there are a few people who still have it stashed, so you might be able to get some if someone is destashing. But I just love these colors, and it just screams fall. And I had picked up a cone of Holst Super Soft in, well, it's kind of this color, this sort of light green, very soft green. I don't even have an end sticking out that I can show you. And that's what I put with it. And I just love the way it turned out. It softened the tones just a little bit, but it goes perfectly with this yarn. And I love my Love Notes. This is my, I can't remember if it's my third or fourth. I think it's my third one, because my other one that I keep thinking is a Love Note is actually a ranunculus. But I also love that, and we'll be knitting more of those. So this I love. And what I really love about a Love Note is how quickly it knits up. The sad part is I knitted it in June. It's not exactly a summer sweater. So I will be excited when I can wear it this fall. Maybe, because I am going to the PEI Fiber Festival. I have my plane ticket bought and my ticket to the festival. Maybe I'll be able to wear it when I go to PEI this fall. Although the first week in October now could still be pretty mild. I am really excited though to wear it. And my friend Heidi knit one too. So maybe we can be twinsy. And Robin's going to be there with me too. So maybe she'll have hers done. Although I don't know that Robin has hers finished yet. But maybe she'll have it done by then. It'll be fun. When I wear my other Love Notes, I often have people walk up to me and say, like, not at festivals or anything, like just out in public, that's a Love Note, isn't it? So it is a very popular pattern, and by Tin Can Knits, if you want to check it out. And I think it is a great, so I don't know if I would say to someone, make this your first sweater because of the lace and the fact that you're holding yarns double, but for sure it's a great second sweater. When you go, oh yeah, I can knit a sweater, then that is a great option for a second sweater. And then the next thing I have is a couple of, I don't know, wraps, scarves. This is the one that was off a Sirdar, it was a Sirdar ball. I can't remember what it was called. I'm terrible. I am the worst podcaster in the world. It's a cotton wool blend. It was color changing, just like this. It's really long. It was my cast on to have at the Fiddlehead Fiber Festival in April because I wanted something that was easily portable, fairly mindless, that I could shove in my festival bag and pull out and sit and knit with people and not, you know, have to go back and forth to the pattern. And it's just an on the bias, very long. I think how I will probably wear it is probably something like this and just loose around my neck under a jacket or something. I love all the colors in it. It's cozy but not hot, so it'll be good for in the fall. I have a few not unlike this, like similar this weight, that I like with my jean jacket in the fall, or with a light like a shell or a fleece when it's not winter, but you still need a little bit of something. And it's also, these are also really nice, these cotton kind, like cotton blend or fingering weight merinos. If you're in the mall shopping, because I practically have to undress at the mall, because if I wear enough clothes to be outdoors, once I'm inside, it's just too warm. But things like this, over, like I can run in with this over a sweater and be warm enough and not have to take in my jacket. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And I love the colors. Like I would love a whole sweater in this color. And I do have some of the Lion Brand cotton jeans in a color similar to this to do another autumn leaf pullover, but I really like that denim-y. And it's pink, but it's not pink, you know. And then into the red. And you know, my grandmother, I can just hear her now. You can't wear red and pink together. Look at them, right side by side in a ball of yarn. Somebody who's supposed to know what they're doing did that, and so it must be okay. I think it's great. I think they look lovely together. So yeah, I'm excited. These things have all been sitting on my piano waiting for me to podcast. We don't play it. No one plays our piano. Oops, sorry, I hit the cord. No one plays our piano in our house. It was my great-grandfather's, and as you all know, I apparently am the keeper of the stuff that everyone thinks is too valuable to get rid of. I had an estimate done once. It would probably cost me close to $2,000 to have it brought back into playable shape. And quite honestly, for $2,000, since no one actually plays, I could do a lot of other things. So it's a beautiful piece of furniture. Sits in my living room. My Christmas village goes on top of it at Christmas time. It has served as a buffet, like we, you know, put a tablecloth over it, and it's a compact baby grand, so when it's closed, it's flat on top. Yeah, I know that's horrible. That's bad. I do put like a protective cloth underneath so nothing can possibly leak through, even if it spills. Don't worry, I take good care of it. But it's just a piece of furniture that looks beautiful and fills a hole. So the last finished object, oh no, the second last finished object, the last knitted object is this Whitby shawl. I think it's called the Whitby Summer Shawl on Ravelry, and I knit it in Juniper Moon Cumulus, and I think this color was called maybe Harvest Orange or Rust. I can't remember, but look at that. I picked this up, you'll remember, on my trip through, on my way back from New Brunswick in, was it in March or in May? I think it was in May. I couldn't get to Grey Heron in Kingston, so I ended up stopping, or not in Kingston, in wherever it was along the way. I ended up stopping at the Village Lane Cafe in Ajax, which also was on my list of shops to see, and I picked this up there because the girl in the shop had just made one, and it's cotton, but it is just the perfect size for a summer shawl. It is you cannot believe how soft it is. Like, unbelievable. I keep thinking I should have knit myself one of these for the wedding. My dress is navy blue. This, I mean, it goes with the dress, but it doesn't really go with the vibe of the wedding. I could have picked up some more of this and done, I probably still could. I mean, the wedding's 2 weeks away. It wouldn't take me that long. And do it in a color to wear with, because my dress is sleeveless. Like, it's, yeah. Anyways, I just love it. It is so soft and light as a feather. And it was a joy to knit. Yeah, maybe I will do that. Although I have enough works in progress. Why do we do that? Why do we go, oh, I still have 2 weeks to the wedding. Actually, it's more than 2 weeks. Because I have 2 weekends and it's the 3rd weekend. I have all of this week, all of next week, I have 3 weeks really. I'm sure I could do it. I just have to go buy it. But it's so gorgeous. And it only takes 2 skeins, which is, you know, pretty amazing. It's the kind of shawl you can just, like, perfect. I always take a shawl when I'm in the car driving, because although it never happens with my husband, because he's always cold and I'm not. But sometimes you're in a car with other people who keep the temperature cooler, and I just like to have a shawl to wrap in. Or the other thing I like them for is, because I get warm in the car, I often drive without my coat on. And if I need to run in, like, you know, if I'm stopping at a service center or whatever to gas up, I can throw on a shawl just to run in and run out, and I don't have to dig out my coat and everything. But it's like just a garter edge, nice open work lace pattern, easy to memorize, and I'm pretty excited to have it. I'm going to keep it on because there's a bit of a breeze. So my last finished object is this. It's awful. I'm pretty proud of it, but it isn't that good. This is my spinning from last time we were talking about it. I plied it. It comes up to a bulky weight. I weighed it and measured how long it was, but you can see, like, look at how thick and thin it is. But you know what? I'm going to knit something out of it. I'm not sure what yet. It is very soft. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I'm very proud of it. And as you know from the last episode, I bought more fiber, and I have bought more fiber again. I have a new hobby now, buying fiber, which, you know, having hobbies isn't a bad thing. And having hobbies that work with your other hobbies is a good thing too. And apparently that's where I'm at. So I'm pretty excited. I just love all the colors. The blue is just waste yarn I used to tie the skein together. I don't know what it can be. It's a little over 50 grams of bulky weight yarn. I don't know what I can knit with it. Maybe a headband. I don't know. I don't really wear headbands, but I'll find something I can do with it. Pretty excited. I am not spinning anything at this moment, mostly because between the dog hair in my house, I didn't need more bits of fiber floating around. Our dog, I don't know what's going on. He's very stressed this summer, and he is shedding like a fiend. I have never seen him shed this much. Yeah, I just can't keep up with it. No matter how much I brush him or how much I vacuum, there is still hair everywhere. Okay, let's check out the works in progress. There's a few. We'll start with this one because it's oddball. You know, you go digging through your stash looking for something, and you find another thing, a different thing, not the thing you were originally looking for. And that was this. I don't even know, like, in a way it surprises me I even owned it. And I know that I had 3 or 4 balls of it, got it at the tent sale at Spin Right years ago, thinking I would do something with it. One of the girls at my knit group was looking to make market bags. I said, oh, I have this t-shirt stuff. You're welcome to have it. I gave her the 3 balls, and when she was done, she gave me back one. She'd made, I don't know, 2 or 3 bags, and she still had one left. So I found it looking for something else. And I thought, what am I going to do with it? Like, there's this mess of, it's all a mess anyway. So I decided when I pulled it out, and I might have to pull this out again, I'm going to make just like a little basket. So I'm crocheting it. It does lay flat when I set it down on the table, and then when I leave it alone for a little while, it curls up. So I'm just going to build up the sides now. I think when I soak it, I'll be able to get it to lay the bottom to be flat. I've taken it apart and tried different ratios, and yeah, I'm sort of over it. I'm just going to keep going. I'll just put something heavy in the bottom so it doesn't fall over. But I do like the way it's crocheting up. I do crochet. I don't know if you're all familiar with the 4-H program, but when I was in high school, I was a 4-H member for as long as I could be, and then I was a leader after that. Like, it was the thing in our community to do. And they called them self-determined projects. So you got someone to help you learn a new skill you wanted to learn. So I did do crocheting one year, and I made a couple sweaters, and I made an Afghan, and I did a few different things at that time. And that's when I discovered, because I was already a knitter at that point, that was when I discovered that I really prefer to knit. I can crochet. There's no pattern or anything for that basket. I'm just winging it. But and when people ask me, I always say, well, it's half the time, but twice the yarn. So because I'm a process knitter, I don't need things to be half the time. I'm happy no matter how long it takes. So I would prefer to knit than crochet. Just me. That's all it is. And that's not in any bag. It's just literally sitting on my table. This is in my thread and maple bucket from their breast cancer fundraiser collaboration with Louie and Lola and the Grocery Girls last year. And I am knitting. I just have only worked on these, I think, one evening. The Sunshine and Hope socks that came with the kit. The yarn, I have all these needles stuck in the balls. The yarn is Louie and Lola, which is from Australia, and it doesn't have a specific color. It's just the Hope and Sunshine. I think it was an exclusive colorway to this pattern. So this is the main color. It's beautiful. And then these are the two minis that came with it. And the sock pattern is by Tracy Miller of the Grocery Girls. And you can see it's a little cable. I just worked on them one evening so far. They require a bit more focus. I always try to have projects on that, so not so much focus that I have to always be reading the pattern, but I do need to keep track. So I can probably watch television and knit those, but I can't read and knit those because reading uses more of my brain. Television doesn't really use very much of my brain. But I'm excited to get them knit. It's a really cute pattern, so I'm excited for that. The other pair, I'll just show you all the socks I'm working on first. So this pair, one is done, and again, I'm sorry I don't have my sock blockers with me. This is the same stitch pattern as that Christmas sock was, right here. But you can see it much better on here. And I'm debating whether I'm going to write this up as a sock pattern. I did an eye of partridge heel flap and gusset on these. This is a 60 stitch sock. I'm not sure who it's going to be for. I've got the second one started. And this is pretty mindless, easy, like watching television kind of knitting. In the car, I can knit on this. And this is pretty inexpensive sock yarn. I'm pretty sure I picked it up at Mary Maxim, and I think I even picked it up in the bargain room at Mary Maxim. It's just called Fave Sock. 75% washable wool, 25% nylon. I'm looking to see where it's made. Oh, China. So yeah, it was probably pretty cheap. But I like the color. I often pick this up to do, to have solids in different colors for things like heels, toes, and cuffs, or if I want an accent or a little color work or whatever. So I have a few balls of this in my collection. I don't know why I have, oh, there must have been a, and it's cheap, but you can tell because I ended up, there was a knot in it somewhere. So I wound off a bunch that was not attached to anything else. Yeah, so that's another pair of socks. And these are on my 2.5 or 2.25. I don't know, I can never read these. I think they're 2.25. Addy Flexi Flips. I really like these needles for things that have patterns that go over half the stitches, or mittens, patterned mittens. They're good for both of those things. So I'm pretty excited about those. To get them done and to decide if I think I might write up a pattern or not. I've never done that before. That would be a new thing. I keep rubbing, I have on white pants and I keep rubbing them on the chair, and then I'm worried that I'm going to get a streak. Because, you know, my patio chairs are clean, but they're not cleaned. This was in my two sticks and you hummingbird bag. That was that pattern. I like those little sock sacks. And this is also a 2 sticks and you bag. And this one is wire framed and it opens up nicely. This is actually a really good one when you're doing 2 at a time socks, because there's room for both cakes. But I am doing 1 at a time socks. This colorway is called Wildflower, and it was from the Yarnable. It was one of the Yarnable box. I got that subscription for about a year, and this was one of the colorways. And I cast these on Friday because I went to the Little Red Mittens knit night, which was at a wildflower farm. And so I thought, how appropriate. I didn't have a vanilla sock on. I needed something I was going to be able to be social with, so I cast it on, got the cuff pretty much done, and so these are now my on-the-go socks. I love this base. It is, I'm going to say 85-15. It is so soft. And this is Magic Loop. This might be a 2.25. This looks a little finer than the other one. I don't know. It's just whatever needle was empty and close. Yep, 85-15, superwash merino and nylon and wildflowers. So that was a great cast on. Just barely started, but easy on the, you know, vanilla socks. Easy peasy. This morning, this has been not every day, but it's often my first thing in the morning knitting to get my hands going and to drink my tea. And you've seen this before. It's my half and half wrap by Pearl Soho. I've talked about it before. This is the front. I have this many more stitches to bring in, and I'm still on the first skein of the white, but will use probably most of the second skein by the time I get to it. It's big, so it's hard to see. You can see because I ran out of the blackberry, I put in a little bit of the wasabi. This is, the blackberry is Cottage Craft. The wasabi is Juniper Moon Patagonia. Juniper Moon? I think that's who does it, Patagonia, in their organic merino. And this, the colorway is wasabi, and this color is their, I don't know if it's navy or indigo, but one or the other. So I did a matching triangle when I started the white, and then carried on in the white, which is not really white, it's more bare. And you can see there's a couple, you can see right there, there's a mistake. See that hole? I picked up a stitch. I'm not ripping back. It is a freakishly large number of stitches. Not happening. Oh, that's my alarm, so I know how much time I have left before I have to leave. So, I just knit on it. It's great, it's mindless. It's big enough now that it's warm early in the morning on my legs. This is a great pattern, probably better for the winter. It was too hot for a little while to work on it, like it was just because it's woolly wool. But I'm excited to have it done. It'll be a great wrap over like a wool sweater to wear outdoors or just in the house when it's cooler. And this is in my Wild Strands. I'm going to make sure that's what it is. Yes, Wild Strands Alice in Wonderland bag that I got at Yarn It in Coburg last fall when I was plotting stores to road trip home. So, and it's, I think this bag will get it through its whole, it's, you know, pretty full, but the perfect bag for it. And I know as crafters we all do this. A baby was born last weekend, so we have to knit something for this baby. So I am doing a little cotton rabbit. This is only my second one. And I do all the knitting first, because I will say this, I do find this knitting a little bit hard on my hands, because you want a pretty tight tension. This pattern is by, let me find her name. Just says Little Cotton Rabbits. For some reason I think her name is Penny, but I might be wrong. It might be Julie. I don't know. Little Cotton Rabbits on Ravelry, you can find it. And I am doing a little Dutch bunny, so I just have all the parts, not even stuffed. This is the head. These are the ears, cute little ears. The body. The legs. This is going to be a boy bunny. The legs. And the arms. So I have to stuff it, sew it together, add the facial features, and knit the clothes, which, I mean, isn't going to take me very long. I did most of this bunny on Sunday, but because you knit at such a tight tension, it's worsted weight. I use Lion Brand 24/7 cotton and do it at a fairly tight tension because you don't want it to lose its shape, and I do find it a little bit hard on my hands. So this is my exciting project. Like, I cannot wait to get it done, and I haven't worked on it now for 2 days because I was working on the little cotton bunny, and I don't know what else I was doing. I was doing other things. This is the Traveler. Let me see if I can bring up a picture of it. I didn't print the pattern off. This is the Traveler hoodie by Andrea Mowry. She released this in the spring. Let me see if I can find a picture of it on my phone. That's not what I want. I want this. I want this. Oh, I don't want you to be able to see the pattern. That's what I'm trying to make happen. It's not working. There. So that's what I'm knitting. It is glorious. I'm doing it in Barocco Remix, which is a cotton, linen, silk, acrylic blend. It is, it's bottom up. It is this great textured rib pattern, and this is the front. Oh, that's the inside though. This is the outside. This is the right side. Yep, this is the right side. So, it's a heavy sport, light DK weight yarn. Remix Light. And that's the content. Yeah, it's not the fastest knit, but it is pretty mindless. I did knit on it in the car a couple times. Now I'm in back and forth, but it doesn't really matter because even in the round there was knit rounds and purl rounds. It just requires a little more thought when you do back and forth to make sure that you get the pattern right on the right side. But I just love it. I love this color. Like, this teal is gorgeous. And there's just enough. It is a commercial yarn, but it's not really tweedy. I guess it is tweedy, but it's varied enough. And that's probably to do with the way all the different fibers take the dye. And it's light. And I really want to get it done because I for sure want to take it with me to Prince Edward Island because it's going to be the perfect blend of warm and not too warm. So I'm pretty excited. And we talked about it earlier. My friend Heidi and her husband came to visit for a few days early in the summer, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in my last episode. Heidi is my dear knit friend, and I'm so excited they were able to come. We had so much fun. Like 4 days just flew by. My husband took some time off work, and we tootled around and went places and did things and ate out and ate in, whatever. We had a great time. And she brought me this present. So she brought me, Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, does summer sock camp. She got me this little summer sock bag and a recommended pattern and this beautiful yarn bouquet. It's the Z Luxe, 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon from Yarn Indulgence. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little glary, sorry. There, that's better. To knit the socks with, and this very cute little notions pouch. I love having these little tiny pouches so I can drop them into bags and have them wherever, which is great. I just love this. This is going to make the cutest little pair of striped shorties. So we'll have matchy socks. Thank you very much, Heidi. I love them. Put that back in the bag so it's all together. And of course, so before Heidi and Robert came, I have some acquisitions. I did a little bit of shopping. I am in the Little Red Mittens birthday club, which if you shop at Little Red Mitten, you should be too, because you get a discount in your birthday month. Then there's a special shopping day, you get a discount. And then you get, when you shop that day, you get a coupon to shop in the future. So it's like tons of presents from them, which is great. As I mentioned, I have started a new hobby of collecting fiber. This is Malabrigo Noob, which is 100% merino. And I just like, look at those colors. Just unbelievable. It's pretty exciting. And I'm sure the day I bought these, I had a plan for them. I have 3 skeins of Barocco Vintage DK. I'm sure I have a plan for them. I just have to remember what it was. This is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon. I don't know if I was thinking of making slipper socks, because it would be good for that. I have no idea what my plan is, but I have 3 skeins of it. So I must have had a plan. And it will probably come to me at some point. Like I'll go through my pattern library and go, oh yeah, that's what I was going to do with it. I think in my head it might be for a slip over, because I know I've been looking at slip over patterns, and so it might be for that. And this is the 2023 Birthday Club Mini, which is just a really cute one. I don't know if I'll use it for something else first or if I'll just put it in my scrappy blanket. But it is very pretty. So that was, I think, like June 24th. And then 10 days later or something like that, Heidi and Robert came. And of course, you know, it's amazing how many fun places to go have a yarn shop on the way. And so we were going, the first day there was no yarn shop. We just went to Port Dover, which is a beach town on Lake Erie here in Ontario. And we went out on the Sunday, we went out for a fish dinner. And we stopped at a couple of wineries and, you know, tasted. One place is wine and cider. They do wine and cider, all with apples. And so we had to taste that to make sure we really liked it. You know, you have to know. And yeah, we walked along the pier. We just did fun touristy stuff. Popped in and out of a couple shops. And there was no yarn shop that day. That was the reprieve for the guys. The next day, we were going to head down to Port Stanley, which is a beach in the other direction, because we had an appointment to shop at the Little Red Mitten. They are not normally opened on Mondays. They usually don't open till Wednesday, but Heidi and Robert weren't going to be here. Well, they were here on Wednesday, but we would have to leave for the airport before we couldn't go. And they very kindly, they were in the shop doing some other things, and they very kindly opened up for us, which I really, really appreciate, because it was on Heidi's bucket list. I mean, I can go anytime I want, but it was on her bucket list. So we had a 10 o'clock appointment. So the guys, John had some things he needed to do in the morning, so him and Robert went off and did that first, and then we left here around 9, and we were there for 10. The guys dropped us off, and then they went, I don't know, they went for a drive and went and got some coffee and did whatever, which was great. And so while I was there that day, I picked up, I should have brought it out. I have a couple of their two skeins of one of their pride colors called Alphabet Mafia, which is really bright. And I picked up 4 skeins of Leo and Roxy Basic to put with it, that I think I'm going to do a sea glass tee, but just use the one color throughout because it's color changing already. And I think that will be really cool. So I got that in navy. And then I picked up, this is I'm pretty sure it's worsted or DK. I can't see where it says. Anyway, opal. There's so many languages on here, I can't actually find one I can read. But I'm pretty sure it's worsted or DK. It's pretty heavy. One of their it's called Wilder Winter. And it would make a really nice pair of house socks. So I picked up one of those. I picked up, I've never knit with this. This is Wool Attic. I need to keep an eye on the time. By Lang. And it is I think it's a cotton blend. cotton, wool, and nylon. And it probably doesn't, it just has a color, the color is 9406. Look at that. Doesn't that look fun? So those will be some socks for my daughter and I probably. And then they had a store sample. Store samples are the end of me. Of the Oppose cowl, which is by Laura Ayler, Fogbound Knits. Same designer who did the Ziva tee that I did the knit along for earlier in the spring. And I picked up 2 skeins of the Malabrigo Mecca Wales Road. It is 100% superwash merino, but look at those colors. And it is going to make a beautiful cowl. 2 skeins to do that. So that was at the Little Red Mitten. And then we went on to Port Stanley and we had lunch on the beach and we poked in and out of shops, and we were thankful some of the shops were closed because it was a Monday, because otherwise we would have been in really big trouble. And we had lunch down there. We stopped at Shaw's Ice Cream. Like, if you're in Southern Ontario, you know Shaw's Ice Cream is really, really good. We stopped at their stand and got an ice cream on the way home. And then Thomas had called our son to ask John if he would golf with them in the afternoon, because they were going on a guys' weekend, and Thomas wanted to get in another round here before they went away, because he hadn't been golfing as much as usual, and I think he had a new club to test or something. And they were going later in the week, after Heidi and Robert left, they were going to Michigan, northern Michigan. The boys and John and a friend were heading up there. And so Robert and Heidi and I just sat around here on the porch, and we had nibblies and visited and chatted and just had a wonderful day and knit. We knit a lot. So that was the Monday. So Tuesday, what are we going to do? Well, the St. Jacobs Market is open on Tuesdays in the summer. And if you've ever been in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, you know that the St. Jacobs Farmers Market is like a destination, and it's got tons of stuff. And we decided we were going to go out for a nice supper that night. So we left here not horribly early in the morning, and not too far from there is the Galt House of Yarn. So the guys they're so patient. They dropped us off, and then they went and got us coffee at Tim Hortons, and we did a little bit of shopping there. Not too much. Well, I didn't do too much. I think Heidi did. I'm pretty sure she she found all the sales, plus she found some yarns she'd never seen before, and realized a couple things, like that Lily and Pine is quite near. They carry a lot of Lily and Pine, and she really likes it, and realized once she was there that they're quite near her daughter in Alberta, so making sure she's going to check them out when she's there. I picked up some more Fritidsgarn. This is kind of a caramel color. I think it's 100333 from the bargain bin. See the red dot? I was a bargain bin shopper. I am a good bargain bin shopper, but I picked up some of this to make John a pair of those double slippers. It takes 5 skeins. They aren't cheap slippers, let me tell you. And they already had in their Cascade Heritage Christmas sock yarn, so I picked up a skein of that to make some socks. And this was another Flotte sock. This one's called Patagonia, and it was in the bargain bin, and I really enjoyed knitting with this in the Christmas colorway, so I thought this was really nice Guy colors, so I picked that up to knit a pair of socks. And that's it. That's my acquisitions since last time we met. I am nearing the end of my time because I have to go to this appointment, and I do have to let the dog out once more before I go. But I did want to tell you about a book that I use a lot, and I go to it often, and I thought you might be interested, and I may have shown it before, I'm not sure. It's this cast on, cast off 54 step-by-step methods by Leslie Ann Bester. And I really like because it has, you know, it has some information for really beginners on how to do things, but it shows you the different cast on types. So basic, stretchy, circular, double-sided, multicolor, provisional, tubular, Mobius, and each one has really good like hand positioning images and things. So I really like this. And they have another, they have a couple of other books I think I might pick up too. I've had this one for a while, but I keep it right beside my, where I knit in the living room in a basket. And I do refer to it often, especially if, you know, sometimes a pattern will ask for a specific cast on that you don't do well. Like, you know, I don't need to look at it to do a long tail cast on or a twisted German cast on or a knit on cast on or a cable cast. It's the different ones. Like if I'm doing a tubular cast on, or if I want to do a, it just left my brain, an I-cord cast on or something like that. They're all in here. And I sometimes just need a bit of a refresher to know how to do it. So I think I just got mine on Amazon. I'm sure it's available at other knitting shops, maybe even at better bookstores. I have no idea. But it is a book that I did enjoy. And it wasn't overly pricey. Like I think maybe $20 or something like that, which was perfect. Good. So that's it for today. I went a little bit into my time when I should be leaving, but we're at just over an hour, so that's not too bad. And it appears we were able to do it in a one and done, so I don't have to edit, which is always a bonus. Take care, everyone. Happy knitting. Enjoy your front porch, your back porch, a sunny window, wherever you like to knit. And remember, if it doesn't bring you joy, it's okay to frog it. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you all. Bye.